Welcome. This is the final wrap-up video of our series. In this video, we are going to walk through the top tips from the previous 7 videos. We are going to just look at the top items. So if you don't really have time to get into all the details in the other lessons, you can just watch this one and use the tips here, and you're already a long way ahead to making better quality video lectures or talks. Of course, if you have the time or if you're really interested, make sure to watch the other videos. There is a lot more detail, there's a lot more depth, there's a lot more tips and tricks that you can use from the other videos. But if you only watch one thing, this should be it. First, let's start with how you record your video. Recording your video is the basis of everything else, so get this right and you're already golden. Start with getting a tripod or some other way of holding your camera or your phone up and stable, and make sure to place it eye level or a little bit above that. That will look most natural. Make sure to record in landscape mode, even on a phone. This will work on laptops or tablets, while recording in portrait mode, how you normally hold your phone, that will only really look good if you're watching it on a phone. On any other type of device, it will be sort of like tall and narrow, and you won't use all the screen real estate that you have available. Make sure that the background behind you as you're recording is tidy and clean. You can add some decorations or use a bookcase or something else to make it a little bit more interesting, but the best thing you can do and the minimum you need to do is to make sure that there's no mess behind you, there's not a whole lot of visual stuff drawing attention away from you. So that will make you the center of attention in your own video. If you're using multiple cameras to record, for example, one to record yourself and another to record the table in front of you for some demonstration or something like that, make sure that the settings on all the cameras or all the phones that you're using to record are matched. For example, the frame rate, probably 30 frames per second is the best option, but whatever you set, just make sure that it's all available on all your cameras and that it's set to the same setting. So afterwards, when you're editing, it's gonna work together much better than if it were all different settings on all different cameras. If you can, use a second device or an audio recorder to record your audio separately. This is because recording audio on the camera that's recording you is not gonna sound very good because it's further away from you. The closer the microphone to you, the better you will sound. So use a separate device if you can, and keep it close to you, pointed at your mouth, but not like speaking into it directly, because that will cause some crackles that you won't be able to edit out later. But using a separate device close to you, maybe on the desk in front of you or in your hand, or even a headset with a microphone on it, will make your audio sound much better and make it much easier to differentiate your voice from any background noise or any echo that you might have around you. If you need to show something on a computer screen, make sure to use the built-in recording tool, for example in Windows, or you can also use the app that we'll use for editing as well, Clipchamp, that I recommend. That has a recording feature as well. Just record your screen in the computer with a software tool instead of pointing a camera at your screen or something like that, and you're already 90% of the way there with showing applications or working with software in your lecture. Finally, when it comes to editing your video, first of all, make sure to edit your video. Don't just share it raw. If you can, take the files from your phone or from your camera, put it in your computer, and use Clipchamp to edit out major mistakes where you might have stumbled on your words or something, so that your final video will only contain the important parts, and the parts that are distracting or that you might have repeated because you messed up something are cut out and aren't there to distract your audience. You can also use Clipchamp to add text or images or even illustrated videos to illustrate what you're talking about while you're talking. This will make it easier for your audience or for your students to follow what you're saying if you have key points like you would in a slideshow, just a few words of what you're talking about on screen, or if you're talking about something visual or have a good way to illustrate it, put up a chart, put up a picture, or even record some video of a demonstration or of a phenomenon that you're talking about and put it up on your video while you're talking, so you'll have some visual way and not just you describing what you're talking about. This will make it easier for your students to follow. It's kind of similar how you would use a slideshow or draw something on a blackboard in class. You're just doing this in editing after you've recorded your video. And finally, if you've recorded audio separately, like I suggest, or you've recorded multiple tracks of video parallelly while you were talking, you can use big gestures like a clap or a snap or something that's also visual but also makes a sound, so that in editing, in Clipchamp, you can align the various recordings so that they are in sync, and as you're talking on screen, your voice, your speech is synchronized with that. Easiest way to do this is to start your video with a big clap. You can then cut that out after you've synchronized your audio and your video, but that's going to make a very noticeable pattern on your audio recording, as well as you'll be able to pinpoint in the video when that clap is happening and just align the two and you're there. These are the most important things. If you do these, if you record your video well, if you record audio separately, if you use lots of illustrations and lightly edit your video afterwards so it only contains the important bits and the bits that you've explained best, then the final video that you share with your students or with your audience is going to be easy to follow, easy to focus on. It will have varied approach to explaining what you're talking about, and that is going to get your points or your subject or your lesson across much better, much easier. I really hope that some of these tips can help you, whether you're a teacher or not. And again, if you have a little bit more time, make sure to watch all the previous videos, try out the tips and suggestions I share in them. A lot of these are super easy, very simple to do at home or in class or in whatever situation you might be recording. You don't need professional gear, you don't need a lot of training or experience. Just following a few simple tips from my previous videos can help you raise the quality, raise the level of your videos substantially. So good luck to you, and feel free to come back and re-watch these if you need a refresher at any time. Thank you and goodbye.